could not give a about anyone else's life. It's all about what satisfies his narcissistic thirst. You absolutely know he has no idea what he's doing, and that his guiding light is his own ego and not the best interest of the United States.
I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this.
Multiple Republican Congress members have said that their lives have been threatened by Donald Trump's Department of Justice in connection with their demand for transparency around the release of the Epstein files. We've heard now from Thomas Massie, Republican Congress member from Kentucky, who spearheaded that discharge petition. He said that the Trump DOJ and the FBI threatened criminal prosecutions against his staff for pushing through the discharge petition. More on that in a moment.
Look, I need to be straight with you right off the bat. The headline you've probably seen floating around social media claiming Robert De Niro and George Conway destroyed Trump together on live TV is classic clickbait. They didn't appear together. But here's the thing. What actually happened is even more revealing about Trump's authoritarian playbook. And it's a story worth telling because it exposes something critical about how this man operates when he can't defend himself on substance.
I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean?
They have a protest of Robert De Niro yesterday. He's a fool. He's a broken down fool standing out there. He got maggot. He got maggot yesterday. He got a big dose of it. But I just want to say it's a very unfair trial. It should have never happened.
Donald Trump was like, yeah, you can't look at the ratings though now with streaming. But let's talk about what was actually happening in the country while Donald Trump was doing this bizarre event. We learned yesterday that U.S. layoffs are now officially on track to exceed the amount of layoffs during the great financial crises in recent history. So more than the Great Recession, potentially more than COVID.
In October 2025, two of Trump's most persistent critics, Hollywood legend Robert De Niro and conservative attorney George Conway, each went on live television and systematically dismantled Trump's presidency. These were separate appearances, different networks, different contexts. But Trump's responses to both revealed the exact same pattern we've been documenting on this channel. When faced with criticism, he can't refute. He attacks the messenger, celebrates when critics get silenced, and uses government power to intimidate anyone who dares speak truth to power.
So they could talk about you, George Conway.
Yes.
You were entered into
right,
evidence.
it says, this does not foreclose Mr. Trump from eliciting testimony that the idea of suing Mr. Trump crystallized in Ms. Carroll's mind as a result of a conversation at a party with George Conway.
That would be you.
That's me, a Republican lawyer. Actually, I was no longer a Republican member of the Republican Party by that point, who, quote, does not like Mr. Trump, close quote. I think that's, well, I don't like his criminality. It's not personal.
I mean, look at the lame, inane things that he said. He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever or smooth. He's a moron. But he's a scary one. And in all seriousness, and we know it here, people have to get out and vote and vote and vote.
Marjorie Taylor Greene had previously put out a notice that if something were to happen to her and that she were to be killed, that there are powerful men who want to go after her, and she says that she's not suicidal and that it would not be by way of suicide that she would die, and she said it would be because essentially some powerful person connected.
Let's start with what actually went down on October 19th, 2025, when Robert De Niro appeared on MSNBC's The Weekend to discuss the nationwide No Kings protests. These were massive demonstrations, nearly 7 million people across the country, protesting Trump's authoritarian presidency. De Niro didn't pull any punches, and he didn't wait long before dropping an F-bomb on live television.
The guy is a total monster. And anybody, I don't understand it. I guess they get behind that kind of logic. They want to fuck with people, screw them, because they're unhappy about something. He's such a mean, nasty, hateful person. I never play him as an actor because I can't see any good in him. Nothing.
You don't want to diagnose him, but I think if you look at the diagnostic criteria for narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, he fits every single one of them. It's like the criteria were made to describe him. And I think what we saw with this tweet yesterday is that last final collapse.
The 81-year-old Oscar winner was discussing Democratic resistance to Trump's agenda when he started praising New York Attorney General Letitia James, who had been recently indicted by Trump's Justice Department for daring to investigate his financial crimes. De Niro said, "I like Hakeem Jeffries. I like Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff. They're all great, strong. I like what Letitia James is doing. She's fighting back. She's saying, fuck you."
America's Philistine president has had himself appointed head of one of our premier cultural institutions. He has cut funding and support to the arts, humanities, and education. And now he has announced a 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S. Let that sink in for a minute. You can't put a price on creativity, but apparently you can put a tariff on it. Of course, this is unacceptable. All these attacks are unacceptable. And this isn't just an American problem. It's a global
of Donald Trump's mental state. I mean, you think about it, those were like 50, 60, 70,000 people in the aggregate in five rallies in different states. That's loopier than saying that the moon landings were staged, because there were tens of thousands of people were there. To think that is crazy, and to try to sell it to people is just as crazy. He's done. His brain is fried.
Host Jonathan Capehart audibly reacted, but De Niro kept going. She's saying, "This is it. I will not be taken down by this person. I am not afraid of him." And God bless her for that. That's how other people have to be. But that wasn't even the most damning part of De Niro's appearance. He warned the American public about something that should terrify anyone who cares about democracy. We can't let up. We cannot let up on them because he is not going to leave the White House. He does not want to leave the White House. He will not leave the White House. Anybody thinks he'll do this, he'll do that. They're deluding themselves.
We have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there. Somebody, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If
he can't help himself but emotionally react to things. One of the things that he's a narcissistic sociopath. That's the thing everyone has to kind of get used to. It's the reason why you cannot normalize him. You cannot treat him like a normal human being, because he's not.
A two-time Academy Award winner is going on national television to warn Americans that the sitting president will refuse to leave office when his term ends in 2028. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is based on Trump's own pattern of behavior, his refusal to accept the 2020 election results, and his constant signals that he views himself as above the law. De Niro didn't stop there. He called Trump an alien who wants to hurt this country.
His former chief of staff, General Kelly, reminded us that Trump admires Hitler and ridicules our American troops who died for us. He mumbles, he stumbles, and blubbers on, exhibiting clear signs of dementia. He promoted the Project 2025 agenda. That's all in 1 week. All in 1 week.
This administration is profoundly evil. Profoundly evil in ways that are difficult for Americans to comprehend. Now, the problem is he's back.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced that even if the American people get their act together on him, and they're starting to realize that. I mean, there was this great article, I hate to say great article. We have reached a stage of illegality, immorality, and depravity in a federal administration that no one could have.
He said Trump is a thing that doesn't understand anything about humanity, people. He has no empathy. And when discussing the growth of the No Kings protests, De Niro laid out the stakes perfectly. That's the only thing that politicians are going to recognize. They either face the wrath of Trump or the wrath of the people. And they have to be more afraid of the wrath of the people. Now, before we get to Trump's response, let me tell you what was happening around the same time with George Conway.
the bottom line is, it's Biden versus Trump. We want to live in a world that we want to live in and enjoy living in, or live in a nightmare. Vote for Trump, and you'll get the nightmare. Vote for Biden, and we'll be back to normalcy.
Yeah. It's the only way you can describe it. And everyone has, it consists of basically two groups of people, mostly. I mean, that's basically what just happened here with Nikki Haley. And the person who has really lost it the most is Donald Trump. Some people who have basically completely lost it, the people we see in the House of Representatives. And then there are people who are basically afraid to call out.
If you're finding this breakdown valuable, hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who need to understand these authoritarian tactics. George Conway, the conservative attorney who co-founded the Lincoln Project and later the Anti-Psychopath PAC specifically to oppose Trump, has been appearing regularly on CNN and MSNBC throughout 2025 with increasingly dire warnings. In August 2025, Conway went on CNN and said something that should make every American's blood run cold.
To make them think,
No, I don't think so.
Why do you think? I'm curious why you would guess that there's a big group of people in this country who believe that he cares about them.
I am totally dumbfounded, baffled by that. I can't understand it, and it's a thing that we've seen over decades and decades. And he's a what's it? Tammy Faye and the other one.
Yes.
Same thing. Give us your money. We're going to save you. Yeah, televangelist.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing, and it's so obvious. I just don't understand. People can buy it. I just don't know. It's all an act in a certain way. It's
600 plus federal judges trying to run the federal government through litigation. When the president is just refusing to do his job, and not only refusing to do his job, basically saying, F you to the duties that I have. Where you have a majority of both houses of Congress who absolutely have refused in the past, in prior Congresses to hold this executive in his prior administration to account. They're refusing to. The correct solution, and this is what made JV laugh, and you guys put it up on the internet, what JV laughing at me, the correct solution that the framers intended was impeachment and removal when a president refuses to do his job.
Whether you're a Hollywood liberal like De Niro or a conservative lawyer like Conway, if you expose Trump's authoritarian tendencies, you get the same treatment. Personal attacks, claims of mental illness, threats to your career, government investigations, FBI raids, license revocations. This isn't about left versus right. This isn't about liberal versus conservative. This is about authoritarianism versus democracy.
He is a malignant narcissist. He's a socio-psychopath. He's created some new language as far as describing somebody in his mental condition. It's so frightening and scary, and
there was a bipartisan immigration bill that was going to try to fix some of this stuff, and Trump didn't want to fix it. He made the House vote against it because he doesn't want a rational system. He wanted the system to fail.
And Trump's response to these two critics, attacking them personally while ignoring every substantive point they raised, proves exactly what they were warning about. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because we're going to keep documenting every instance of Trump's authoritarian behavior. Share this video with anyone who needs to understand how this playbook works.